All praise to the Creator, nobody else. Subscribe to my dear brother. It's free to pay attention to KP2. This our dear brother has brought us tons of information and exposed many good things. He's doing such a good job that he had to get a second page because they messed up his first page because they got mad at him exposing so much truth. So we have to support our dear brother. It's free to pay attention to KP2. Brothers, free to pay attention. Make sure you post something here and tell them to click on your icon, which will be looking just like that. And right next to it, this is my second page, so they can click on it. Okay, don't forget, it's free to pay attention to KP2. All right, let's hear some of the brother's stuff here. And this is about the old Durham NC, the real Black Wall Street, and why.
Rich. Welcome to the Black Excellence and Abundance Channel.
Bluetooth mode. Ready for connection. Auxiliary mode.
In Durham, North Carolina is the original Black Wall Street. Everybody knows about the one in Tulsa where they went out there and had to rebuild and do everything for themselves again, and all they did was achieve excellence again. But what happened was the government came in and they bombed them. Literally, bombed them. People burned down everything over there, you know what I'm saying? They came in and they invaded because, we can't be really stopped unless we stop ourselves.
Many of you are familiar with Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, there were over 100 black business districts throughout the United States, one of which was perhaps the most wealthy and the biggest was in Durham, North Carolina. In the early 20th century, Parish Street in Durham, North Carolina was the hub of African American business activity. This four-block district was also known as Black Wall Street.
Another thing about Black Wall Street is along the East Coast, where all the entertainers and everybody went that had, people of color, they didn't trust going certain places. So what they would do, they had certain hubs, one in Georgia, maybe one in South Carolina, then North Carolina, then, Virginia, and on up the, it was all along the East Coast. So this was one of the places.
Although other cities had similar districts, Durham's was one of the most vital and was nationally known. Parish Street bordered the Haiti community, Durham's main African.
Haiti. Now, at this time, right now, it's called the Haiti. I don't know when they started switching it to Haiti, but you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. Reading between the lines.
American residential district, and the two districts together served as the center of black life in Durham. Elsewhere in North Carolina, in the depths of the Jim Crow era, race relations were as bad as they ever had been, but Durham's black business district thrived. In 1906, the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, the nation's largest.
Now, look at the structure of this building. Go look at all the ancient structures of buildings. Just go look at it, man. Go look at all the English stuff. Go look at all that stuff, man. They're telling you right now. You think white people built this for us? I'll go back.
Right. In 1906, the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, the nation's largest black-owned insurance company, moved its headquarters to Parish Street. It was soon joined by the mechanics of Farmers Bank, and the founder of the North Carolina Mutual also invested in real estate and textiles.
Parish Street is downtown Durham. Also, the insurance building it was one of the top, it was like the first insurance building, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's just based on color, but I think around the United States, it was like the top insurance place.
National leaders W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington both visited the city in 1912 and 1910, respectively, and praised black entrepreneurship. During the time,
they praised that. Now, these are the guys that actually got the schools named after them and everything. Like, they came here and saw the black people was doing so well. They was like, okay, maybe these the infiltrators. Excuse me. Yeah, we got schools, North Carolina Central University, and you know we got these schools around here. Shepherd, that's a middle school, and these schools is basically named after these people right here. And these people weren't from here, but they look like us. They is us, but they came from a different place, and they said, hey, let's set up shop right here because they doing so well.
Time period when disenfranchising blacks and openly violating their rights was common, the black populations of Durham were making strides in business that challenged the legitimacy of white supremacy. Black-owned business in Durham can be traced back to the efforts of two African-American entrepreneurs, John Merrick and Charles Spaulding. This district was able to increase African-American wealth. The region also promoted basic social reconstruction for blacks. The southern United States were left in tumult in the few decades of Reconstruction following the Civil War. During the late 1800s, most of these southern regions were rebuilding infrastructure damaged by war. Racial tensions were at an all-time high due to the recent emancipation of all black slaves and the new economic and social competition they represent.
Slaves. That's the problem. Like, if North Carolina or Durham, North Carolina was thriving without, you know, these out sources, why would you, you know, compare them to slaves at this point? You know, these people are doing what they do. That's what I think anyway. What you think?
In many of their white eyes. Although these African Americans have been freed, their quality of life saw little improvement. Estimates from government officials say almost 85% of blacks were living below the poverty line during the late 1800s. Automatically placed at the bottom of the social ladder, blacks were denied virtually all rights afforded to whites. The emergence of John Merrick changed the identity of black businessmen. Merrick was able to reach prominence in his community through his long-standing friendship with Washington Duke. Originally a barber by profession, Merrick gained enough money through the income and loans to open North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance, which was later expanded with the efforts.
Now, this is the biggest building, I believe, to date in Durham, North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Of Charles Spaulding. John Henry Merrick, insurance agent, entrepreneur, business owner, was born in Clinton, North Carolina on September 7, 1859. Merrick was born a slave. When he was not shining shoes, he watched and learned the trade of barbering.
Well, I have to say, I just learned a couple
In
of things.
1880, his friend John Wright asked Merrick to join him in
I learned a couple of things that I didn't know. I knew we had a whole lot of Black Wall Streets I didn't know that Durham was the top Black Wall Street. See, this is what I'm talking about. He brings some stuff that a lot of folks don't know. He has his own nick. He has his own, how you say it, he has his own little pot in this truth where he can find stuff that some of us ain't thinking about or don't know. This is why I said y'all need to subscribe to It's Free. Number 2, pay attention. Number 2, KPKP. Number 2, all praise to the Creator and nobody else. Good job, family.